Hello, and thank you for entering this video. I will tell you the biblical story of David and Goliath. I hope you enjoy and relax. A long time ago, in the ancient land of Canaan, the people of Israel were at war with the Philistines, a powerful and warlike nation seeking to dominate the region. Both armies were camped opposite each other, separated by a valley. The Israelites, led by King Saul, were afraid to face the Philistines because among their ranks was an imposing warrior, Goliath of Gath. Goliath was a fearsome giant, a champion trained for war from his youth. According to the biblical description, his height was nearly 3 meters. He wore a bronze armor that weighed over 60 kilos, a shining helmet, and carried a spear whose iron tip alone weighed almost 7 kilos. His appearance was intimidating, and each day, for 40 days, Goliath would come out into the valley and issue a challenge to the army of Israel. "Who dares to fight me? If any of you can defeat me, we will be your servants. But if I defeat him, you will be our slaves. Choose your best warrior and send him to face me." The soldiers of Israel were terrified. No one dared to accept the challenge, not even King Saul himself, who was the tallest and strongest of the Israelites. Meanwhile, in Bethlehem, a young shepherd named David tended to his family's sheep. He was the youngest of 8 brothers, the son of a man named Jesse. His 3 eldest brothers were in Saul's army, and David was just a boy with no experience in war. However, David was not just an ordinary shepherd. He had a brave heart and deep faith in God. He had defended his sheep from lions and bears with nothing but his sling and his trust in the Lord. One day, Jesse sent David to the Israelite camp with provisions for his brothers. Upon arriving, David heard Goliath's challenge and saw how the Israelite soldiers fled in fear. Outraged, David asked, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine to defy the armies of the living God?" His words caused a stir. His older brothers mocked him and accused him of being an arrogant boy. But David was undeterred. He insisted that someone had to face Goliath, and eventually his words reached the ears of King Saul. When David appeared before the king, Saul could not help but look at him with skepticism. David was young, small, and inexperienced in combat, but the shepherd insisted. "Do not be afraid, O king. I will fight this Philistine. When a lion or a bear came to attack my sheep, I would chase it down and kill it. The same God who delivered me from those animals will deliver me from Goliath." Impressed by David's courage, Saul finally agreed, though he tried to equip him with his own armor. However, the armor was too heavy for David, who decided to face the giant with what he knew best, his sling, some smooth stones, and his unshakable faith. When David went down to the valley, Goliath saw him and laughed. This thin, unarmed boy was going to face him? "Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks?" Goliath shouted mockingly. "Come here, and I will give your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field." But David boldly replied, "You come against me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Today the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel." With those words, David ran toward Goliath. As the giant prepared to attack, David took a stone from his bag, placed it in his sling, and hurled it with deadly precision. The stone flew like lightning and struck Goliath on the forehead. The giant fell to the ground with a thunderous crash, dead on the spot. David ran to him, took Goliath's enormous sword as a sign of victory. The Philistines, seeing their champion defeated, fled in terror, and the Israelites pursued them, achieving a great victory. David's feat made him an instant hero in Israel. Saul brought him to his court, and the young shepherd began to gain fame and admiration among the people. Later, David would be anointed as the king of Israel, fulfilling God's purpose for his life. But this story is not just a tale of bravery and triumph. It is a reminder that, with faith in God, even the greatest and most terrifying challenges can be overcome, and that no matter how small or insignificant a person may seem, God can use them to accomplish extraordinary things.